everybody here on the Games Matter channel to this very special one-off podcast, I guess you could say. Yeah, I normally do the wrestling podcast, but that's on that hiatus at the moment due to the personal matters that have gone on in my family and everything that's gone down. So I thought, let's do something positive at the moment. Let's do something positive. Not to say that the wrestling podcast that I do or have done isn't positive, because it's wrestling and I like to talk wrestling. But I wanted to talk today about football. That's right, soccer to the Americans. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail, guys, because I actually work at the place. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. But I want to talk about my club, Middlesbrough. And I'm not speaking to you as a matchday steward, I'm speaking to you as a Middlesbrough fan. So hope you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy what you're about to hear, because I want to give you my views and opinions. If you watch, or if you listen to Crumpet's Championship Predictions podcast, you will probably have heard a little bit of my predictions as well, and my thoughts on Middlesbrough in general. Like I say, I didn't say too much, because like I say, I work at the club and I enjoy the work at the moment. But I'm not speaking to you again today as a Middlesbrough steward, I'm speaking to you as a Middlesbrough fan, considering what's gone on last week and whatnot. So allow me to indulge, if you will. I worked the game yesterday, the pre-season game. As I'm recording this right now, I would have worked it. I'm recording this on the 30th of July, and I worked the pre-season game yesterday, which was the German team, the friendly game. And I managed to get a glimpse, and a good glimpse, of what I saw from the actual game as well, besides working and helping people out and doing my job and doing it to the best of my ability, as I've been doing for the past 5 years. I managed to get a glimpse of the team. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't care what happened on the pitch and whatever. Yes, we won 2-1, but I just wanted to get a glimpse of what the team would be like, you know, and what the team, or what kind of a team we got going into the season. Because it's alright sitting there saying A, B, and C and everything like that, but you want to see what's going on first. You want to see who we've got. And I have to say, I managed to see a full glimpse of the first half, because I was sat in the easy chair. We have this easy chair there, which is basically behind the dugout, and we have to watch people from going in there and signing autographs and that, unless the players are cool with it, and we have done. Because like I say, I've done that myself. But anyway, and I saw what I saw. 2 minutes, we went 1-0 down, which took me by surprise, I must admit, but it was a good goal apparently. I didn't see the goal. But what I was impressed with is the fact that we didn't let our heads drop. Normally on occasions we've decided to let our heads drop and everything, but we went at him. And Garry Monk on the sidelines was like, you know, he kept on being very vocal, and I wouldn't say I'm animated too, but he was very vocal in getting his instructions across. And it worked a treat, it really did. And I was very impressed with him. There was a lot of good movement, a lot of good passing play as well. And it was a very good, productive first half, because we managed to get back into the match towards the end with Braithwate's equaliser as well. And I also managed to see a glimpse of the second half as well. And the pace slowed a little bit on the second half, in my opinion. You know, there was a lot of sloppy moments. Like I say, it wasn't the perfect performance. There was a lot of sloppy moments as well. Very sloppy, indeed. Passing given away and everything. And our defence, even though they played all right, wasn't the perfect performance, but they played all right. There were signs during the match that they were panicking a bit, you know. I think from what Garry Monk has got them doing is trying to play out from the back, because I don't remember seeing, unless it was a goal kick, but I don't remember seeing Randolph, our keeper, kicking the ball up the field. He would always pass it to the nearest defender. If he couldn't do that, then I'm guessing he would have to kick it up the field. But he would always pass it to the nearest defender, which 99% of the time, especially in the second half, it was mainly George Friend. But, you know, it's that style of play. I think he wants us to be a passing team, from what it looks like as well. And there was also glimpses of formation changes as well in that match, because I think it was a 3-4-3 at first, and there were signs where it was going to a 3-5-2 as well, because it was more, because Clayton was playing centre-back most of the match. He was playing as a third centre-back, because we had Ayala and Gibson in his Lone Ranger mask after suffering a broken nose. I believe it was against Rochdale. And there was signs of that kind of work as well, because I think Monk wanted the fullbacks to move up the field a little bit, which has always been the story of Middlesbrough Football Club in terms of fullbacks and everything, and it was just good stuff. And we managed to get the victory at the end, in the last minute, or towards the last minute, because defensive slip up and Fletcher passed it in, and I believe it was Forshaw, from what I was told, manages to get his goals in the second half as well. But all in all, it wasn't the perfect performance, but there was a lot of positives there, and I was very happy with what I saw. And we do look like we have a strong, strong team. And that's a blessing in disguise, let me tell you, from what I'm seeing. Right, now I've got that out the way. Let's talk about the Butter players, the highlights, or the highlighted Butter players that I saw that were impressive. Pretty much all of them, to be honest with you. All of them who managed to get a game. Like I say, Fletcher came on as well. Gusted came on. Ledbetter came on. Didn't really do much as well. And Forshaw came on as well. And Fletcher was impressive from what I saw in the second half as well. But the first half, there were signs of Bamford as well. And now this poor bastard came to us for 7 million, and then Karanka brings his morale down, quite frankly. Even though there's rumours, and it's just rumours, guys, from what I'm reading and what I'm seeing, that he could be on his way to Celtic. Apparently Celtic have been interested in him. There were signs of the old Bamford back. There were signs of the old Bamford. You know, the Bamford who came up to us on loan and could score a goal, because he was putting a shift in and he was not giving up on most of the stuff. Yes, he was outnumbered on occasions, but he was showing willing. And there were signs there. But it's going to be interesting to see how he fits in the team. Should we still play a 4-3 or 3-4-3 or whatever it is that Monk wants to play? How is he going to fit in? Because most of the time he usually plays on the wing side of it. I don't see him in that role, if I'm being honest with you. I see that more of a Traore in there. But then again, that's just my opinion on that. But there was good signs there. But the start of the show, for me, that I was really impressed with, start to finish, was Braithwate. Martin Braithwate. This guy apparently was bought for 9 million. He's a Danish striker, but he looked really good. And all these guys, I didn't underestimate him at first. I was like, what's this guy like? What's this guy like? A lot of people are saying he's really, really good. A lot of people are saying this about him. He was good and he was what he was. This guy's going to be a hit. I'm telling you right now, guys. He's going to be a really, really, really big hit. From what I'm seeing, he's just superb. He was putting the shift in, he was moving forward, and he was dropping back on occasions as well. You know, playing that centre attacking mid role behind the front two, which in a way was more Bamford and Assombalonga as well. And he was just phenomenal. He moved around the pitch, wasn't afraid to pick out a pass, and wasn't afraid to do what he needed to do for the team. And he got his reward at the end of the first half with that goal. And he was just outstanding, and I believe he was man of the match as well. Other mentions as well, like I say, Assombalonga looked good. I believe if Traore stays, which I'm pretty sure he's doing so, him on the right, I think Assombalonga would feed off, and he would be more than happy to receive balls and crosses from a player like him, because we all know Traore is pacey. I think that's a striker's dream, to have somebody of a Traore, even though he's still green, and I'll get to him in the reason why in that in a second. Even though he's still green, he would feed off that. He would definitely feed off that. That's the kind of player that strikers feed on, because once he gets that final third ball in, because that's what he was missing. He can pace, he can dribble, he can mug a defender off, no problem. But without that final third ball, that final pass, that final product, if you haven't got that in the game, most of the stuff that you do don't mean nothing. So if he can get that into it, and there were signs of it, but he really needs to improve it a little bit more as well. Hopefully he'll do that this season under Garry Monk. But I believe he will be feeding off that. And if Traore gets that right, that's a striker's dream, let me tell you. Especially for somebody of a Assombalonga who is strong and who can, mug off a defender like he was doing on the friendly game as well, because I think the defenders really hated going against him, man. I really do. Some of the defenders were like, Jesus Christ, it was really good stuff. And if he can get into a defender's head, that's half the battle won there. No question about that. There was signs of the old Bamford, like I was saying, the old Bamford being back as well. But like I said, he could be on the verge of moving. Whether he stays or not, I don't know. That's up to Monk, and that's up to Middlesbrough Football Club to decide that. It'll be a shame though. I mean, he hasn't got the pace like of a Traore or anything like that, but he can fucking score a goal when he needs to. If you get the confidence behind him and get him really, 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 really working, he can get a goal. He can get a goal too. There's no question about that. He's proven that. The first time he was with us on loan from Chelsea. I'm liking the look of Christie as well, the right back. I thought he played really well yesterday. And Howson as well from Norwich. He looks a decent talent in there with the midfield and that. And Clayton is still Clayton. Nothing's changed on that. But Christie, our right back, apparently he's brought in Roberts as well from Swansea on loan as backup. But Christie looked really good, really good, and that could be a good right back for us, because that's what we've always missed from the times I've seen And from what I've saw and everything like that, we've always missed a good right back. We've always missed like good right backs and everything like that. And I've always seemed to be, weak in that position. From what I've seen, you know, because we've always got the defence, and we've always tried to make the defence as strong as we can get to be. Because when I first started working at the club and everything, our weak spot, our weak area, was the defence. There's no question about that. It was the defence. But Karanka came in and strengthened that baby up. There's no question about that. And he strengthened up and bringing in the talent that he did. And we always seemed to neglect the right back position. I mean, we had Insue, we had Barraga as well. I would have preferred Insue over him. Like, we had people like that as well. But there was never strength in depth in that position. Because if you buy two players, one to be your first team guy and one to cover, and you lose both of them, you're pretty much knackered, really, aren't you? You know, you've got no in there as well. Although Callum Chambers did play well on occasions at right back as well, but it always seemed to be that would be neglecting. But he's brought in Roberts on loan, Garry Monk, as backup to Christie. I would go for another one, or at least find another one, even if it's on loan. Even if it's on loan, there's somebody to act as cover to Roberts as well, because like I say, if you lose two right backs, you're out. You're pretty much knackered in that respect. But I really like the look of Christie. He put a shift in yesterday, and I was really impressed with him and his movement down the right-hand side as well, which was really, really good. And he could work well with people who play on that right-hand side as well, like a Traore, for example. He could work really well, and he's really, really good and looks the part. There's no question about that. Randolph didn't have much to do as a keeper, and he's our number one keeper. Connie, look, I love me some Connie. And Connie's proven himself to be the championship keeper. But when you bring somebody of that calibre in, yes, I questioned Randolph at first. I questioned it in that. But when you bring somebody of that experience in, you know, I mean, I'm not doubting Monk. Monk brought him in. You know, obviously Monk knows what he's doing, knows the crack at the moment. And I'm not going to neglect Randolph yet. I'm going to give him a chance as well. And Connie was in there. Apparently, Connie hasn't had a good pre-season from what I've heard. Just what I've heard, I might be wrong. But Randolph didn't have much to do yesterday. And if he did his part. You know, he did well. Thankfully, he can catch a ball. Thankfully, he can catch a ball. Thomas Mahez on that one. But thankfully, he can catch a ball. And, you know, it's the same. I mean, you've got Connie. Connie's been great, but we all know he's coming towards the end. He's about 38 years old right now, going up 40. He's coming towards the end of his career and everything, and you want that guy just to fill in like that. You can understand why Karanka made Valdez number one last season, because, Jesus Christ, his credentials for crying out loud, multi-time European champion, and he was Barcelona's number one for God knows how long as well. So you can understand why in that respect. There's no question about that. But, yeah, Randolph did look the part. Didn't have much to do. I guess we'll find out. For those of you that go into the Wolves game and everything, you'll find out what he really can do in that respect when that happens, and we'll find out how good he really is. But like I say, I'm willing to give him a chance. He looks the part, and at least we've got a good keeper as well, because that's what we need. We definitely need strong keepers and really good keepers as well. Poor Connie Ripley looks like he's going out on loan from what I've been told, and yeah, that is what it is on that respect, guys. Now to the sour point. Or a little bit of a sour point in that respects of yesterday's match. Gaston Ramirez. Gaston came on, replaced Braithwate, and I thought he did well. But where I was sat, there was a mob in the crowd, which I'm guessing it was Red Faction. Or a majority portion of Red Faction. The full lot went there. And I love me some Red Faction, by the way. I love me some Red Faction. They are the heart and soul of that ground when the players and when the matches are on. There's no question about that. Because without Red Faction, that group would have been dead. That ground would have been, it'd be like a mute button. Seriously. Without that. I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody push their shift in and tries to get the atmosphere going and everything like that, but they are the leaders of that ground. There's no question about that. They've had some differences with people at the ground and everything like that, but without them, like I say, without Red Faction at Riverside Stadium, that ground would be like a mute button, be quiet. No question about that. But I think there was a portion of them yesterday that were basically booing Gaston Ramirez when he came on. People were there's still a good portion of the fans that still like Gaston Ramirez and think he's a good player and whatever. And to be honest with you, in a way I agree. But basically there was a chant yesterday called "Fuck Off Ramirez." And he soon shut them up, because when he paired that ball in for Fletcher, which the defender missed, and Fletcher went in on goal, and passed it to Forshaw to allow him to score. That was basically his way of saying shut the fuck up, basically. And I think it goes back to last season, because towards the end of last season, apparently he refused to play. Up until... For the last couple of games of last season, he refused to play up until the Bournemouth game, and then he eventually played the Bournemouth game only to get sent off, stupidly, quite frankly. And I still believe to this very day that that was deliberate. He did that deliberately. I still believe that to this very day, because it was fucking ridiculous, man. It was absolutely ridiculous. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch it, or go back and find the match and see for yourself. I'm sure there's highlights kicking about. But he came on yesterday, and like I say, he put a shift in for the time he had and everything. He was on the bench. Came on, replaced Braithwate, and I thought he did all right. You know, people saying, is he leaving? People saying, is he going? People thinking he will stay. If I'm being honest with you, speaking as a Middlesbrough fan, I really don't care what happens. As long as Garry Monk, which he seems to have done, and he seems to be smart about it as well, as long as he brings in players that gets the job done, you know, that is willing to put on that shirt, go out and do a job, and do what they're told to do, and do what they're supposed to do. As long as he brings in people like that, that have that mentality, then fine. And I still believe, after what I saw at the friendly game, Ramirez still has that mentality. Will he stay? I don't know. January, there was a 14 million pound offer for him from Leicester, which got rejected. Apparently, there's 6 million to 8 million offers in that region for him as well. Shows you how time changes. What will happen, I don't know. Do I hope he stays? I don't, like I say, I don't care what happens if he does stay or not. If he goes, he goes. If he stays, he stays. If he stays, as long as he does a job and is willing to put a shift in and fight for his place, and when he gets that opportunity, do what he needs to do and do what he's done for many times as Southampton player as well, then fine. Will he get that heat? Yeah, he probably will, because, like I say, he refused to play last season, and then he gets sent off stupidly against Bournemouth at the last game of the season. And I still believe today that was deliberate. I still believe that, because even I saw it and I thought, he's done that deliberately. But like I say, we'll wait and see what happens on Ramirez and see what happens on that as well. One player that I can probably guarantee you that's not going to be a part of this club this season, and it was a foregone conclusion yesterday when he wasn't even on the bench, he wasn't even in the squad, and that's Stewart Downing. We all know why. Last season, he basically had I think he had a go at the fans, if I remember correctly, from what I saw as well. He had a go at the fans. I might have missed it, I don't know, but I was told that. And he's feud with Karanka as well, because him and Karanka didn't get along. And I also found out when I was doing Crumpet's podcast, apparently him and Rodgers didn't get along either. Brendan Rodgers, when he was manager in Liverpool. So, track record indeed. And Downing's not the same person he was all them years ago when he was under McLaren for us. He's not the same person anymore. That's why he's been moved to centre attacking mid, because he hasn't got the legs anymore. Although he can put a shift in, I'll give him his credit on that. He can put a shift in, but I don't think Monk wants that kind of heat and that kind of negativity in the club like he did with Karanka last season. So that's why he's basically told him to leave. From what I've been told, Birmingham have been involved and Birmingham want him. What's Harry thinking on that? I don't know, but hey, Harry's Harry, ladies and gentlemen. But apparently it's been delayed over wages. Apparently he's asking for 60 grand a week. Wages. And I don't think Birmingham's willing to do that. And I don't blame them, quite frankly, as well. So we'll see how that ends up. But I'll be surprised if I see Stewart Downing in a Borough shirt this season, if I'm being honest with you. I really will be surprised if I'm being honest. Like I say, we'll see what happens, but it'll be a shock if he's in a Borough shirt this season or he gets his game. And if he does get his game, it'll probably be the under-21s at the most, or maybe a League Cup match. I don't know. But I don't see him playing for Middlesbrough ever again. Especially with this squad. I don't see that happen, if I'm being honest. All in all, overall, I really like the look of the squad. From what I've got, there was a lot of good players yesterday. A lot of good players yesterday that were on that bench as well. And there was a lot of strong players as well. Alex Baptista's still with us apparently as well. Traore, Connie's there. James Beattie, the assistant, I believe he is now, to Garry Monk as well. A lot of good positivity, a lot of good positives from that match yesterday. Apart from that sour bit with Ramirez. I wasn't a big fan of that bit with the fuck off Ramirez bit. That should be saved for another time in my opinion. But I really enjoyed what I saw and I'm very much looking forward to the new season. Looking forward to working there. Looking forward to being a part of what happens. And hopefully we can end it with promotion this season as well. Check out Crumpet and Tea Gaming channel as well for that championship predictions podcast that I did with him and a few others as well. And my little rantish. I'll put it in the description anyway, guys, when I eventually put this one up. Check it out as well. This is going to be exclusive to the Games Matter channel as well. It's exclusive to the channel as well. I just thought I'd do something not quite a big, not go into like too much detail, but just give my views and opinions. Like I say, I can't talk too much about it because I work at the club, and the last thing I want to do is lose my job or anything like that, because, you know, it is a good place to work, and there's no question about that. Questionable at times, but I enjoy it, I really do, and I like to keep it that way. But like I say, I'm not speaking to you today as a Middlesbrough Stewart, I'm speaking to you today as a Middlesbrough fan, just giving my thoughts and opinions of what I've seen and what I've seen from this new team that's coming into this new season. As far as winning the championship goes, and I'll end this podcast on this, to be honest with you, people are saying the expectations are, and I said this on Crumpet's podcast as well, to win the championship. That's the expectations this season. People want us to win the title. You know, Gibson wants the championship, there's no question about that. To be honest, and I think I can speak for a portion of Middlesbrough fans on this, we could care less what happens this season, as long as we're back in the Premier League next season. That's what happens. We don't care if we win the league. We don't care if we become second. Hell, we probably won't even care, even though we probably don't want it. We'll take first and second over it, but we probably don't even care if we win the playoffs. Because at the end of the day, the bottom line is, guys, as long as we're back in that Premier League, that's where we want to be. That's the expectation this season. If we win the league, it's a bonus. And that's the expectations this season. From what I saw yesterday, as I'm recording this, that friendly, and the squad that we've got, it's a strong squad. We're in a better position and a better situation than we were the first time we got relegated. That's 7 years of hell. We're in a lot better position than we were then. A lot better players. All the credit in the world to Garry Monk for going out and buying strikers and having the guts to do that, unlike previous predecessors. Didn't do that, unfortunately, or didn't risk it. That's what you've got to do, guys. You've got to take the risks, and Gary's took a risk. Hopefully it pays off, and if it does, you deserve it. I think we're a better team than Leeds. No offence to Leeds fans. We are the strongest team in that league. It's a tough league. Like I say, 7 years in it. You know, 7 years of hell. You don't have to tell us that. You don't have to tell a Borough fan that. But I believe we can do this season. I believe we can win the league. But at the end of the day, to put a bottom line on it, guys, and I speak for probably a majority of Borough fans, if you guys are listening to this, you probably will agree with me. We don't care if we come first, second, or win the playoffs, as long as we're back in the Premier League, because that's what it's about this season. We're not coming back in here to the Championship after a poor season last season. We've got all the confidence back from what I saw yesterday, and we're not coming back in here to spend another 7 years in it. The hard work starts now, and we need to do it and get back into the Premier League where we belong. We've had ups, we've had downs, we've had bad situations. Credit to the Middlesbrough as well. The majority in Coon Gibson's said we made mistakes. Well, let's correct them. Let's correct them and get back to where we belong, and let's get back to the Premier League. If we get to the Premier League, will some of these players that we've got today be there? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see at the end of the season if we do go back to the Premier League. But I believe we can do a Newcastle this season, because they got relegated first season, even though they earned it, 1 point away from Brighton, 1 point ahead of Brighton to win the league and everything like that. Even though they did earn it, I believe we can do a Newcastle this season, and I'm truly confident that we'll be back in the Premier League next season. Hope you guys have enjoyed this little one-off podcast. If you enjoyed it, please leave that like button and smash the like and share this with many Borough fans and many other people as well. It'd be greatly appreciated. Good luck with it. I hope you guys will enjoy the season, and I hope you guys will come to the ground. And if you see me, Anthony Walker, if you see me, or you know who I am and everything like that, you see pictures of me, look at the picture on the, if you see me there, come and say hello. Don't, like I say, I can't talk too much about the Borough and everything like that, because like I say, I work there. But I'm speaking to you today as a Borough fan. I'm a proud Middlesbrough fan, and I'm a confident Middlesbrough fan as well. But like I say, guys, I've said many times, don't be surprised if we make hard work of it. That's all I'm saying, because we're in the hard league, and we've tended on many occasions to make hard work of it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. My name is Anthony Walker for the Games Matter channel. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Peace.